here, but why we decided to have it downtown Sugar Creek. A big thank you out to Genesee and Wyoming Railroad for letting us occupy their main today and show off this equipment. Thank you. One of the other things that you probably hear, this is the last locomotive that Jerry Jacobson, our founder of the museum, was able to procure before his passing in 2017. So we got a dedication to Jerry. We're wearing the JJJ hats, which has his initials inside, as he would have written. Let's see. Also, we have some booths here today. I'd like to thank some of the people and organizations in the area that have helped us out. Village of Sugarcreek, the Sugar Creek Small Business Association, Genesee and Wyoming Railroad and the Isle Central Railroad, Tuscarawas County Visitors Bureau, Holmes County Visitors Bureau, the Denison Depot, whom we're also working with in a couple of weeks for the AM 250 event. 19 will be down there for that as well. Belton Brick, Time Lumber, Baltic Winery, Operation Lifesaver, the Sugar Creek and Dover Libraries, and the Alpine Hills Museum. I'd also like to thank the Aegis Team staff for putting on this event and getting it out here, as well as the back shop guys who put all the hard work into what we're seeing today. At this time, I would like to introduce Pete Paremba, the board chairman of the Jerry and Laura Jacobson Foundation.
Pete. A big welcome to everybody who's here. We're glad for the turnout. And I remember in 1969 and being on my dad's shoulders when the commemoration of the Promontory Point train came through Cleveland. And hopefully the youngsters here will remember this day just like that. Thank you, Nathan, for the introduction and guiding the team from the Roundhouse in executing all these events today and tomorrow and Saturday. We've got a lot going on. I'd like to thank Mayor Walt Wilson also for his help with the village and his encouragement for us to be up here in the village, and they're welcoming us. Again, like Nathan said, I'd like to thank the G&W Corporation for the use of the main track today, Dan Pavick and Tim Slusser from the Ohio Central Railroad, who have diligently worked to schedule the movement of the 19 here today for this celebration. Big thanks to Tim Spizzato and the shop crew for a very impressive and much needed rebuild of this historic locomotive. It took a lot of work. There was a lot to do here, and it's done. It is in very good shape. Probably the best it's been since it was first out shop. We thank all those who are in attendance today, those who are interested in the American 250 events and celebrations. There's going to be a lot throughout the year. I was around for the bicentennial, and I remember it today too. And hopefully the youngsters remember what this year is about and the pride in America. Also thank those who are interested in commerce in the Village of Sugarcreek, in Tuscarawas County, and in the state of Ohio. I'd like to recognize Governor DeWine for his interest in these local transportation events during the month of April, commemorating and celebrating the 200th anniversary of our great nation and transportation in the state of Ohio. And most of all, and in particular, I'd like to sincerely thank the founders of the Roundhouse, the generous donors of this fine collection of steam era locomotives and equipment housed and displayed here, Jerry and Laura Jacobson. I'd like to thank Jay Jacobson for stepping up today and helping us out in celebration. Other members of the family that are here to take this in, we want to thank them for their support as well. Jerry and Laura have been responsible for and through their lasting legacy continue to be responsible for so much good in this community. They love this community and its people throughout their lives here, and they would be quite proud once again to see an active steam locomotive here in Sugar Creek. Jerry and Laura This is all made possible through your generosity, and we thank you.
Thank you, Tim. I mentioned we want to celebrate our community here as well. The Village of Sugarcreek has been very good to us, not only as a museum, but back in the Ohio Central days. And we couldn't have gotten half of the stuff done that we've gotten over the years without community. So at this time, I'd like to recognize Walt Wilson, Mayor of Sugarcreek.
Whoa!
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. It is my honor as Mayor of Sugarcreek to welcome you to this truly historic and unforgettable occasion. Tonight we gather here at the Sugarcreek Depot, a place that marks the very beginning of our community story. In 1882, when the railroad first came through this valley, it laid the foundation for our town. The trains brought families, commerce, and opportunity, and from those beginnings, our village took shape. Engine number 19 is more than a locomotive. Built in 1915 and now restored to operation, it represents the era when towns like Sugarcreek depended on engines like this every single day. These machines carried the goods that filled our shops, the materials that built our homes, and the people who made this community thrive. In many ways, Engine 19 is a living reflection of the very trains that once resided here. Its story goes even further, appearing in the film Emperor of the North. It connects not only to railroad history, but to American storytelling and culture. But today its most important role is not on the big screen, it's right here in front of us. It represents the connection between past and present, the craftsmanship and determination of those who built it, and the labor of those who painstakingly restored it. It represents the same spirit that built Sugarcreek over 140 years ago. The depot behind us tells the story of our beginning. Engine 19 carries that story forward. Railroads didn't just pass through Sugarcreek, they built it. And that is what makes today so meaningful. Standing here where the first engines once arrived, we now welcome the beautifully restored engine number 19. We come together this evening to marvel at the incredible restoration and historical preservation efforts of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum, a place where history is not simply remembered, but brought back to life. Thanks to the vision of Jerry Jacobson and the continued dedication of the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum, this is not history sitting still in a museum. This is history in motion. This evening, as Engine 19 is christened here at the birthplace of Sugarcreek's railroad story, we celebrate more than a machine. We celebrate the engines that built this town. We celebrate the people who preserved that legacy. And we celebrate the future that continues to grow from it. May this engine run strong for generations to come. May its whistle echo through our valley as a reminder of where we came from. And may it always bring people together, just as the railroad first brought Sugarcreek together so many years ago. Thank you. I have a proclamation here for the Age of Steam. I have a proclamation here for the Age of Steam Roundhouse. I'd like to present it to Nate. Great. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to introduce from the Governor's Office, the Regional Liaison, Caleb Schreiber. Caleb, I understand you have a presentation as well.
Just a commendation here for the engine number 19. I don't see many of these anymore, so we want to commemorate this special occasion. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. From Franklin Rose's office. All right, next up, continuing with community. One of our big players here for us, being a railroad environment, is the Ohio Central Railroad. The Ohio Central Railroad helps us get our cars in, cars out, what work we need to get done. Last year they were a donor in 4092, locomotive that was dear to Jerry's heart. And they continue to help us in many different ways. And again, we couldn't be out here today with this train if it wasn't for them. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Dan Pavick, the president of the House.
I don't have any notes, so I'll be about 2 hours. 18 years ago, Genesee Wyoming bought the Ohio Central Railroad from Jerry Jacobson. And there probably was a fear that a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen anymore. But you know what? When there's a passion that big, it continues on. And we're lucky to be part of that passion. We run a railroad business. We're your local railroad. We want to be safe. We want to be, a good neighbor to the community. We want to be a good neighbor to, Sugarcreek. That's our job. We're not perfect, but we really want to support what we do here. The paycheck that pays me is what the steam engine represents. The cars behind it that Nathan talked about. You have journal bearings. Right now we use roller bearings. So when you see the oil leaking out of the journal bearings, it's a lost generation of railroads. This is cool. And you see what Union Pacific is going across the nation right now with their 4014, the big boy. That's neat, right? This is neat too. This is your local locomotive. This engine lived its life in Arkansas, Mexico, California, and now it's in Ohio, probably for its permanent home. Everybody mentioned America 250, this 250th birthday of America. Hard to believe. Next year is the 200th anniversary of railroads in America. So for 200 of those 250 years, railroads played a vital role in making America what it is today, and we still continue to do so. And one of the big things, and everybody talks about safety, when the train came in, stay on the tracks. That's why we have Operation Lifesaver here. The reason we can be here today is because the Aegis team, through their professionalism, they operate safely. And so we entrust them to do this, and we entrust the people who are going to be watching these things, taking pictures, that you do the same thing. Because the easiest thing that can stop these things is people not being safe along the railroad tracks. That includes our employees, that includes the communities, that includes rail fans, people with just general interest. So there's going to be a lot of activity this year along the railroad tracks, down to Ohio, and probably throughout the United States. Just remember that. A train can't stop on a dime. It doesn't see you. You hope the people in the train see you. That's the goal. So really proud to be part of this event. Congratulations for getting the number 19 running. And I broke my promise. It was only a couple minutes. So thank you, everybody.
So 19 has a storied history, and here to give that story, we have Glenn Holland. Glenn likes to call himself the resident 19 historian, so we'll let him show off his skills.
Some big shoes to fill. I'm playing this all out, bear with me. I think they put me 6th in this lineup, so statistically half of you folks are asleep. Going well so far. Statistically half of you folks are asleep by now, so I'll try to make this good. Well, good evening, town of Sugarcreek, friends, colleagues, and distinguished guests. My name is Glenn Holland. I am a part-time tour guide at the Aegis Roundhouse Museum, and I have the honor and privilege of speaking to you tonight as the vessel through which history may flow. We are here tonight to celebrate a birthday, 2 if you think about it. April 9th, today, is the day that we celebrate the birthday of not any of our employees, but the 19. 111 years ago, in April 1915, this locomotive was completed by the Baldwin Locomotive Works near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as their 42,000th locomotive by serial number. If you think I'm wrong, look at that red circle. You might imagine the 42,000th of anything to be a momentous occasion. It wasn't. This engine was built to a standardized set of designs for an out-of-the-way logging railroad in Arkansas. So at first there was nothing special about the engine standing behind me. Not at first. Well built and good at its job, originally number 4, the locomotive traveled down to Arkansas after its completion and settled in for a fairly short career of logging operations in the Ouachita Mountains. After a few years in Arkansas and having been converted to burn oil, the locomotive moved to a new home in Mexico, northeast of the capital city. Then known as number 105, our story does get a little more interesting from here. After arriving at its third home on the McLeod River Railroad in 1923, their shop crews allegedly found bullet damage from front to back on this locomotive. Unsubstantiated claims began to circulate about this locomotive's involvement in the Mexican Revolution, which earned it the nickname of Pancho. We can thank the McLeod, its third owner, for at least 2 things. The first is the modernization of the locomotive to what is essentially its modern appearance through numerous upgrades. And the second is its final renumbering to 19, a number it has carried ever since. 19 had a good home there in Northern California. 30 years on the McLeod later, in 1953, the 19 moved again, but not as far this time. The nearby Yreka Western was looking for a stronger, more powerful locomotive and purchased the 19 and placed it immediately into service. 1954 saw one Willis Kyle purchase the railroad, which continued to turn a profit even as a pivotal change was taking place across the United States. The 1950s saw the arrival of diesel-electric locomotives onto many railroads. At first, a supplement for steam locomotives, then a replacement. 19 was not spared in this change, but nor was it exterminated. 19 is a survivor. 19 was placed into standby or semi-retirement in 1958, and it was brought out on a few occasions for special excursions, including some rail fan trips in 1964. And it was around this time that the Blue Goose name began to stick with the 19. The wayward locomotive would eventually find its 5th home in Cottage Grove, Oregon in 1970 through a lease to the Oregon Pacific and Eastern. After a season of excursion trains, the 58-year-old locomotive landed its first role as a Hollywood actor. The 1973 film Emperor of the North features 19 from start to finish, along with veteran tough guy actors Lee Marvin and Ernest Borgnine. After a few more years of excursion trains, Hollywood once again found 19 for a role in Stand By Me for the train dodge scene, not the bridge scene. 19 did return home to Northern California to the Yreka Western in 1988, operating into the 21st century and remaining there until 2016. After being embroiled in some legal trouble, the 19 was eventually put up for auction and sold in October of 2016. This is where Jerry Jacobson and his Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum enter our story. Jerry won the bid with the $400,000 mark, shipping not included, and the 19 was soon after loaded onto a flat car and traveled to its new home here in Sugarcreek, just down the line that way, arriving here in June of 2017. Shortly thereafter, work began to restore the 19 to operating condition with a full rebuild and inspection and test runs beginning in November of 2025. That brings us finally to this very moment. A lot can happen in 111 years. With this incredible history in the front of our minds, we now find a new appreciation for the day of April 9th. And now we celebrate April 9th for another reason, the rebirth. Whether you know it as Pancho, McLeod River, Yreka Western, Oregon Pacific and Eastern, Shack's Train, the Blue Goose, or by anything else, 19 stands as a testament to both American engineering and perseverance. I've told you about its life across North America. Some back of the napkin math tells me that this engine likely has more service years behind it than any of the other 24 steam locomotives in the collection at the Age of Steam Roundhouse Museum. And now, thanks to our excellent and talented team in the back shop led by Tim, 19 has many more service years still to come. Now, to conclude, this might be the only chance I ever get to do this with such an audience, so bear with me for just a moment.
Oh.
It's windy. Just imagine the candles. To the 19 born this day in 1915, reborn today in 2026. Thank you. Try not to get too much icing on the cake.
All right, thank you, Glenn. I'd like to take this time now to recognize the people who made the train possible and the freight cars that are with it. In our back shop, we have 6 guys that put a lot of time into this. Greg Miller, we call him Q. Neil Johnson, Scott Ziggins, Quinn Blausch, Jonas Beachy, and Bill Hansley. As has been mentioned already before, our Chief Mechanical Officer, Tim Spazzato, leads that team. At this time, I'd like to ask Tim to come up and say a small piece.
Can everybody hear me all right? Well, first off, it's great to see a crowd of people here. It's been 23 years since I stood here with a live locomotive and saw a crowd of people here. That was in our final year of running round trips out of Sugarcreek. It's great to see everybody back here again. I had the honor
That's better.
You're like a rock star, huh? Okay, we'll try that again. I had the honor of meeting Jerry Jacobson when I was a teenager. I was still in high school, back over the Pittsburgh area. And of course, it was involving a steam locomotive. I was volunteering on the engine, and Jerry was on the board of directors of that group that owned the engine, and we kind of connected. And I was fortunate enough afterwards to stay in contact with Jerry for many years. And once again, we crossed paths at various locomotives, engines that I was working with, engines that he was working with. Jump ahead to 1988, he invited me to be part of the startup of the Ohio Central Railroad system at the time. And he said, Tim, what we're going to do is we're going to be like Strasbourg. We're going to run steam locomotives in Amish country. So here we go. You know, it's okay. So we actually started in '89 running excursions out of Sugarcreek here down to Baltic and back. And with the help of, well, there was so much cooperation on Jerry's side, the whole family, which I'm glad to see some of the family here tonight. This is good to see. And you know, we really appreciate all that. And we would have never been to this stage if it wasn't for the Jacobson family. Now jump ahead again to the 19. When this engine became available, Jerry got all excited about it. He said, Tim, this is the Emperor of the North engine. We got to get this engine. That was his big drive for the locomotive. And he was fortunate enough to be the high bidder. And we got the engine purchased and brought it here in 2017. It came over on a railroad flat car. Both the engine and tender were tied down on top of the flat car. And it took, I can't remember, it was almost 3 months to get it across country. It was Class 1 railroads, I don't know. Once it got to the Ohio Central, Dan's crew made sure it got to the Roundhouse within a day and a half, I think it was. So that worked out well. We didn't really start a full restoration on it until about, well, it would have been COVID. We had worked on it to maybe get it out in 2020, but it needed a lot of work, so we kind of patched it up just because we wanted to run it. And then COVID came, and then we decided we're going to do the Federal Railroad Administration as rulings. It's a 15-year or 1472 service days. So we decided let's just go ahead and do it. That way we know we're good for 15 years. And we've, well, pretty much had it finished last year, but we had a little break-in runs and things like that. So this would be the debut. So figure at least 5.5 years to get it where it's at. And it was totally tore down. I mean, it was a boiler and a frame and a bunch of oak blocking. All the pieces you see on it now, we're off. Countless new pieces, a lot of new castings, all new brasses in the rods and the journals, new pins and bushings. I mean, the engine was tired. You know, it was run so much over the years by so many small short line operators that they didn't have the money to put back into it. And the time came, you got the money put back into it. So, you know, once again, Jerry and the foundation, they were behind it. You spend what you got to spend to make it right. And we want it to last when it comes out the door. Obviously, there's the finished product behind it. Now, all the crew, we are all coal burning guys. Every engine Jerry had before was all coal burners. We're learning about this using oil now, so we don't have the warm and fuzzy feeling yet on how to do it. We're slowly getting there. But yeah, well, like I say, that's about it. I'll not be too long-winded here, but I want to thank everybody again for coming out. Like I said, it just brings back a lot of memories of all the great times we had here in Sugarcreek. Thank you, folks.
Cool.
Everybody, part in doing this equipment, this locomotive. Next, I'd like to introduce Jay Jacobson. Jay is the son of Jerry and Laura Jacobson. Jay's going to be doing the actual christening for us. We are to that part of the show. So, if I could get everybody right here to kind of part the sea so other people can see what's about to happen. Jay, would you like to say anything? Okay, go ahead.
Folks, I'm going to be honest. You guys got me terrified up here, and I've been thrown by bulls. I haven't done a public speech in over 10 years. I'm shaking in my boots, but I'm going to do the best I can. It's going to be short and sweet. They're all going to be thank yous. First off, thank you to every gentleman that was here at this table for your wonderful words, and thank you. Thank you for what you've done to contribute to my family. Thank you to all you folks that showed up today. It wouldn't be possible if there was nobody to witness this. So thank you to you. And then last, thank you to the team, the volunteers, the employees that work at the Roundhouse that make this dream come true. But I know that my mom and dad, Jerry and Laura, are looking down right now and smiling. So I thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Jay, this is the bottle of wine we've received. This is from Baltic Mill. This is their Buena Vista Brut. So if anybody's curious, they want to go buy whatever we're about to throw all over. We like to thank them for doing that. Jay was out practicing yesterday, so he's putting gloves on. He's learned his lesson. So,
Hang on a minute, Jay.
hold on, Jay.
Writing.
All right. Well, here's to a successful rebuild. Return to steam for the number 19. Well, as the beginning of another 111 years. Jay, on behalf of the Jacobson family, the Aegis Team Roundhouse, and everyone here today, christen the 19th. Sir.
Nobody got hit, right? Okay, good. There you go.
Just the
Ladies and
19.
gentlemen, thank you for coming out today. I'd like to mention just a couple quick things. We have events at the Roundhouse the rest of the weekend. We have train rides Saturday, Fridays and Saturdays. Moving at the Friday night. And then tonight, when we're done here, Bags has a number 19 special. If you want to go over there for dinner, it includes a peppercorn burger with caramelized onion, bacon, 2 pieces of hot chip, pepper cheese, bourbon barbecue sauce, pretzel bun. The gift shop will be open till 6:45 if you want to tap in here. And thank you all for coming out. Look forward to seeing you at the Roundhouse. Thank you.
Pretty cool, huh?
See, I wish we had one of these in Orville.
Yeah, man.
If we had the 105 still, we could do it.
Yeah. That's something. Yeah, that was cool hearing about it. I didn't know all that history. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Jesse, we want you to talk.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Okay.
What my brother said, bye.
Yeah, that's even
That
better.
was bigger than what I did on the tractor.
Killed it. Is that why the tractor has been down?
Well, I didn't want to get glass on the.
Yes, he's been christening the tractor.
Yes. Oh, excuse me.
See ya. Yeah.
I don't know how you need to go. Yeah, the big ones are right there.